Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 2 of our promotion bootcamp. I really hope you found yesterday useful. I wanted to use these first few days as a way for you to know exactly why you're going for the promotion, knowing what tools and processes you need, and to get yourself really set up. When you start doing the actual work, you know exactly what you're doing and you can do it to the best of your ability. So that was what I was hoping we'd achieve in these first few days. Really enjoyed seeing all your vision boards. That was fantastic to see them all posted. If you haven't done day 1 yet, don't worry, just go back and catch up. It's completely your business to do in your time when you want to do it. But if you do want to go for team leader, I do really recommend that you do take the time to watch each of these videos and to do the exercise as well. So today is going to be all about recruiting, which in my eyes is the absolute most important part of this business. There is nothing more important than going out and building your team and to keep those new team members coming in. If you want a business that works for you, that is where you need to be putting your time and effort. So I will just open up today's PowerPoint and we can go from there. So as I say, today is going to be about recruiting. Why is that not right? And as I said, it is all about recruiting. I can't stress that enough. Obviously, we need to sell books and we need people to sell books for us as well. If we're not bringing people into our team, we're never going to get to team leader. So why is it so important? Without recruits, you can't promote. Simple as that. You have to have 4 active team members to get your promotion. If you're going for team leader promotion, if you're going for group leader promotion, divisional leader promotion, or executive leader promotion, obviously you need your team recruiting as well as you recruiting. You need to get leaders underneath you. So without recruiting, there's no way you're going to have any promotion. You always need new recruits to come in, stay at your leader level. People will join this business and leave. To be self-employed, you have to be hugely motivated. It's why we spent time yesterday looking at our whys, looking at our goals, looking at what we want, because so many people join a business like this and they don't spend the time working out what it is they're working for. So they can get bored very quickly. If they're not making lots and lots of money very quickly, they can get distracted. You see people who join business after business after business because they're not focusing on why they're joining the business. They're just focusing on that little bit of that business for that little bit of time. So you need to know where you're going, and you'll need to always be bringing new team members in to replace those ones that will leave. You want to be recruiting so you can have more money. 6% off £100 may not sound like much. It's £6. And when you're a team leader, you get the extra 5% as well. So you basically get £11 off a team member. When you times that by 1,000 people or 100 people, suddenly that really adds up. And that's not you going out and recruiting 1,000 people or 100 people. That is your recruits will start recruiting. They'll start becoming leaders as well. And you're still getting paid on all that money coming in. So personally, I have recruited probably 40 something last year, 40 something the year before, 18 the year before that. I am probably on to around 115 to 120 people that I have personally recruited in my 3.5 years with Osborne. However, there's about 1,300 people in my team. As you can see, it grows and grows and grows. You get paid on all of that growth. Having recruits coming in is unlocking those doors for you getting all that money. Recruiting is less time. It's more money for less of your personal time. We've joined a business like this, most of us, because we want to work around our children. We don't want 9 to 5 job. We've got no desire to do 40 hours a week. We want money coming into us without putting lots of time in. So book fairs, events, they're brilliant, so much fun, and we love them to do them every now and again. If you're doing them all day, every day, you're not going to have much time for you. Whereas your recruiting is going to bring in money for you even when you're not working. So I know my volume goes up every single night when I go to bed. I think I mentioned this yesterday. I wake up and there's more volume in. I'm not working those hours. My team is all working. We all work at different times of the day. We all do different types of events. So it's massively important to have people in your team working for you. so you can have more time to do the things that you want. Finally, it's more fun. Having a team, having people to work with makes this so much more fun. You're not a lone wolf out on your own anymore. In a community, you've got the tribe, you've got the vibe, you've got fun, and you've got people you can talk to who share the same ideas as you. So that's a brief overview of why recruiting is so important. How do we recruit? Okay, this is a massive stumbling block for lots of people. It's also a minefield of different things that you can do and different ideas. There's an overview. You've got online recruiting, things like Facebook, other social media sites, email campaigns, building relationships online, networking online, loads and loads of stuff to do. Offline, these are at the events we attend and in our day-to-day life, people we're seeing in the flesh, face-to-face, or over the phone that we can talk to. Ways of recruiting are using your prize draw forms, both online and offline. I'm going to download and upload a different video on how to put together an online prize draw. Some of you will have that already, some of you won't. It's a really, really fantastic tool. You should have printed off your prize draw forms now, but they are the backbone of your recruiting business offline, really, and online. They enable us to get leads, not just for recruiting, for parties and for schools as well. So they are continually bringing new leads into your business and new people for you to follow up on if you are going out to events and getting them filled in. If you're not using prize draw forms, that is something you definitely need to be doing. Using your frogs, so your friends, your relatives, organisation groups and social networks. I'm going to cover that in a bit more detail. In fact, I haven't uploaded it yet, but there is a form for using your frogs, which I will upload when I finish this video. It's just a way of thinking about the people you already know. So it's a really good idea to go away and fill this in of anyone you know in any of those boxes who may be interested in joining or may know someone who's interested in joining. So it's a really good way to get you thinking of people you can contact. Again, adding leads into your business. Make a business work, you need to have leads and people you're contacting all of the time. That is what a business is, whether that's a sales lead, whether it's a recruiting lead, whether it's a school lead. That's what a business is. A business is following up on leads and using those leads to get bookings. So using your frogs as a way to get leads is a really, really good way. Adverts. So paid advertising or free advertising, completely down to you. I do all of my recruiting pretty much through paid Facebook adverts. For me, I don't have the time to go out and do face-to-face recruiting that much. Other people only do face-to-face recruiting at events. It's completely what works for you. When doing adverts, I always say to people, you have to invest in your business, and there's two ways to invest in your business. One is through time. So if you are time rich and money poor, then you want to be putting time into getting your adverts out there, using selling groups, going around putting up posters, handing out flyers, using your frogs, going through and contacting people you know, because they will use up some time. They will not cost you a penny. The other way is if you are money rich and time poor, which is probably more the category I fall into now. Rich is the wrong word. I don't sit down and get yourself money rich, but I do have some spare possible money that I can put into recruiting. I don't have huge amounts of time. So for me, I put my money into Facebook adverts. I then get recruits from that. That keeps my business running. When I first started, I had absolutely no spare money whatsoever. I put my time, because I had more of that then, because my fourth child hadn't arrived, into posting on selling groups, building up networks of people, using my frogs, contacting people and building my business that way. Getting flyers printed, getting posters printed, posters up everywhere. There's example posters that we can get printed off of tools and downloads. Networking, some of you will probably do, some of you would not do. There are lots and lots of mummy networking groups out there, or professional networking groups as well. Don't be scared of them. I remember my first network meeting, I was petrified, literally shaking like a leaf behind the person I'd gone with. And then they made us stand up around the table and say like what we did. And I was so nervous. But after I'd done one or two, I realised they were really, really good fun. I now really enjoy going to network meetings. They're my break almost. I go to them as a chance to have coffee with someone and have a meetup. So there's some of the different ways that we can recruit. Bingo, it's a numbers game. So you've probably seen I uploaded a file called Recruiting Bingo. This comes from a conversation with myself and divisional leader Nicola White. So we've always said to our potential team members that you need to have lots and lots of conversations with people in order to get the recruits. Promote to team leader, you're looking at 8 recruits rather than 4 recruits, always going for more than you need. We break that down into how many conversations really does it look like to get those 8 recruits. And the number we came up with is 150. So on your recruiting bingo sheet, you will have 150 squares. These are the amount of conversations and people you need to talk to get your team leader promotion. You need to fill in every single box until it looks like one of my old ones, like this. So you can see it should end up, in fact, let me just unshare the screen in a second. Well, how do I do that? Stop there. Okay, so you can see it now looks like a noughts and crosses game or some description. I've got notes and things all over here. So every time you speak to somebody for the first time, hold on. Hello? Hello? Okay. Okay, so basically my microphone's telling me, or my computer's telling me the microphone isn't working properly. I will listen back to this, and if it's not working, I'll record it again, but for now, I'm going to carry on. So you're recruiting bingo, you put your names in this every time you speak to someone for the first time. So if I went through my frogs and I made a list of 10 people that I know who have recently had a baby and may be looking to earn more money, I would send them a message, or I pick up the phone and give them a call, and I'll write their name into the box. If I've already spoken to people in the past and I decide to go and follow up with that person, I would also write their name into the box. However, you can only have the same name on here once. So I couldn't add in, I don't know, say I'm going to contact someone called Mary, and then when I follow up with Mary in a week's time, add her back into it. I will just go make notes because I've already spoken to Mary. So you don't have the same name. It has to be 150 different people that you speak to, 150 different conversations, and you will end up with something like this. So my crosses are the people that I've gone back to and have said that they're definitely not interested. They don't want to be spoken to anymore. They've gone off my list. My circles are ones that have come back to me going, oh, yes, I'd like some more information. Please tell me a bit more. And I think there were some that have joined as well from there. I think I tend to highlight the ones who joined. I had not gone back and done this sheet. So that's what it ends up looking like. That's your copy to start with, so you can go away and start getting those filled in. So I'll go back to the presentation. I really hope you can hear the sound on this. Okay, let's go back. So keeping track. So once you've got your recruiting conversations going, you're starting to speak to people, you've got your recruiting conversations here, you want to be able to keep track of the people that you're talking to. So the next sheet that you need to look at is your recruiting pipeline. So again, every time you add a name to the recruiting bingo, you go onto your Word document. You can print this out if you like. I prefer to do it online, just so I can keep adding in the boxes. So I've put an example in there. So you need their name, their phone number if you've got it, depending on how you're contacting them, their email address, again, depending on how you're contacting them. Then there's about them bit. So things that they say to you in those initial conversations that you feel may be useful. So if they've got children, if they don't want to go back to work, if they're on maternity leave, if they're saving for a new car, if they want to feel like them again, anything that they say that you might want to pick up on in the conversation later. You might want to go back to them and go, oh, you said you didn't want to go back to work. How long of your maternity leave have you got left now? Is this still something that concerns you? All those type of things. The date you made contact with them. So you write down the first date you had a conversation. Where you made contact with them. So did you meet them at a home party? Were they at a school book fair? Were they through a Facebook advert, from an email campaign, whatever it was, from a Twitter tweet you put out? So you know where your recruits are coming from. Then your follow-up date. If they're not joining straight away, you need to write down when you're going to follow up with them. Write it in here and also pop it into your diary. Whatever diary system you use. Some of you might have passion planners. Some of you won't. Some of you just have a standard. I just use a standard diary. Some of you might have an online diary. But always put a little note in there of when you're going to follow up, why you're choosing that date, and then what happens with that follow-up. And then there's a box at the end that either did they join? Yes, great. You can put the date when they joined in there, or nope, or still thinking about it. Really, you want to leave it until they become a definite no. No, I'm not interested. Don't talk to me anymore. And then they get a cross in the bingo sheet, or they get a big fat yes. Yes, I'm ready to go with it now. And you can see how many people that you speak to. It's quite, so with the bingo and this, it's a really nice way to see how many people who you speak to join up. So you might have an average that 1 in 10 people you have a conversation with join up. It might be 1 in 20. It might be 1 in 5. It may be that you go, oh, hold on, all the people I met at events, took a book or something, they've all joined, but all the people I speak to online aren't joining at all. So it gives you a way to see what is your best area of recruiting and how you're doing in different areas. So again, a really nice way to keep track of where you're going. How to speak to potential recruits. This is a big one. I'm just going to have a little sip of my tea. Sorry, I can feel my throat going a little bit from all the talking. Speaking to potential recruits, so many people fall down on this. They get people asking for information and then they don't know how to speak to them properly. I think when we're recruiting offline or face-to-face, we can quite naturally do this anyway. We have quite a good conversation with them because we're all used to having conversations with people and they flow quite naturally. When you're doing it online, quite often people have a tendency just to throw loads of information at someone. So someone says, oh, I'm interested, can you send me some information? And we send them all the information and they immediately go, oh my God, that's too much to read. Or, oh, I have to pay money to join, I'm not interested. Or, I don't know, it's all too much. It all sounds complicated. I don't want to know about it. It's really important that when you reply to someone asking for information, you speak to them as if you had picked up the phone and spoke to them. So you just give bite-sized bits of information. I always start with a little overview of what's involved. Someone asks for information, I say something like, hi, Jennifer, thank you for requesting more info. What attracted you to the advert? I'm looking for people who would enjoy selling books online or at home parties in schools and nurseries. Does this sound like something that would interest you? Oh, sorry. And they'll come back with a, oh yes, can you tell me some more? At which point I give a little bit more information that we're a commission-based business. That to get started, you have a beautiful starter kit. This is what's in it. Those sort of things. And we just get into a conversation. I try and ask a question about their children, what they're doing now, trying to get them talking about themselves. People like to talk about themselves. That's a really nice thing to do. I've got a video now that I'm really hoping will work. And it sort of just goes over what I've just said about verbal ping pong, having those conversations and how we speak to people. So fingers crossed this is going to work.
minutes, the idea of verbal ping-pong
will make a lot more sense.
Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Ken.
And we're here to help you discover exactly how to give a memorable elevator speech.
But first we should probably start by talking about what an elevator speech actually is.
And how it helps you and your company.
And why you should care.
Because an elevator speech really doesn't have much to do with, elevators. Now, no matter what division or department we work for, no matter what our title or position, we're all in sales. When someone asks us the question, you know, you're talking to someone in an informal situation, at Starbucks, at a party, or at your kid's soccer game. When someone asks you the most important, awkward, open-ended question you ever receive in your professional life.
What do you do?
The reality is, at the moment you're asked the question, you are transformed. You are now the director of sales, the VP of marketing, and the chief branding officer all in one. To the person you're talking to, you represent the entire company. That's why most of us secretly hate getting asked the question.
The problem is we don't have a concise, practiced answer. So a lot of times we see the question coming and actually try to avoid it.
Or wind up giving some lame, stumble-bumble answer.
Yep, it doesn't matter if you've been doing your job for 5 months or 5 years.
Almost all of us fear the question.
Don't fear the question, no, no, no.
That's right, you no longer need to fear the question. Because Ken and I are going to show you how to craft a memorable elevator speech for what you and your company offer. So you'll know exactly what to say when someone asks, "So, what do you do?"
Ah!
Remember, Ken, you no longer need to fear the question.
Right.
Now, let's put this whole thing in context. We're not talking about official sales calls here.
No, your elevator speech is what you say when you're just talking with people in informal situations. It's called an elevator speech because it's an answer short enough to be said between floors on an elevator ride. Here's how we define elevator speech. A progressively revealed, conversational answer to the question, "What do you do?" that you deliver in such a way that people want you to keep talking.
Okay, progressively revealed. You don't have to tell the entire story in one giant monologue. How many seconds do you think your answer should be when someone asks you the question?
Oh, I know. 15 seconds, or even 30 seconds, 45, maybe, under a minute.
Yeah, let's try that in real time. So, Ken, what do you do? Go.
Blah, 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 blah.
Okay. That was painful. You don't have 15 seconds. You don't have 10 seconds to answer the question. You've got about 3. Your elevator speech is a dialogue, like a game of verbal ping-pong.
The other person hits the ball to you by asking the question.
You immediately hit it back to them with a short answer.
Then they decide if you'll both keep playing.
What you don't want to do is hold on to the ball. Thanks for asking, Ken. I'm going to talk for a while. You might want to sit down. Okay, the next part of the elevator speech definition is conversational answer. That means you talk like normal people, not like the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, I'm a leadership systems expert for Mega Services, which is an industry leader in delivering maximum value through value-added dynamic processes and customer-oriented networks,
as well as fully integrated employee enhancement programs, which achieve measurable world-class results that can be escalated to meet the increasing needs of an increasingly complex business environment that demands precision, professionalism, and something else that starts with the letter P. Now,
yeah, if you were actually to talk to someone like that in an informal situation, they think you were a freak. Okay, next part of the definition. That you deliver in such a way that people want you to keep talking. This means after you say one line, look for the other person to show that they're interested in what you just said.
How do they do that?
Simple, with the Scooby-Doo response. You know you've got someone hooked when they cock their head or raise their eyebrow or grunt out a huh, what, Getting that kind of non-verbal reaction means they've hit you the ping-pong ball again. It's permission for you to keep talking.
Note, Scooby-Doo is a registered copyright of Hanna-Barbera, and our parody reference cleverly avoided any actual images of the real Scooby-Doo, instead substituting a rather pathetic picture of Brian in a generic Great Dane getup. Thank you.
deep down, people really want to give you the Scooby-Doo response. When they ask you, what do you do, they're hoping you'll say something like,
We build the guidance systems in the space shuttles.
we train Navy SEALs.
We make those cool machines at grocery stores that take your coins and turn them into dollar bills.
Now, your answer may not seem as cool, but come on, your job is still sexy.
And people are into it. They've experienced what you do, or their company has bought your company's products, or theoretically could buy them.
Remember, they asked you the question because they already found you interesting. So don't stop being interesting when you talk about what you do.
And you do that by following our simple elevator speech formula.
Which comes with its own 4-second hit song.
The wow is your one-sentence answer to what do you do?
It's what you say to get the Scooby-Doo response.
Then comes how, a sentence or two that explains how you do your job and how it benefits them.
After that, the now. Now is the start of the 3 most powerful words in the English language. Now, for example.
Because that's the start of a story,
And everyone likes a good story.
especially if it's short. The elevator speech opportunity is to quickly connect the person you're talking with to the big concept of what you do. And that happens by you giving a progressively revealed conversational answer.
In the wow, how, now formula.
We'll show you how this can work with a solution for a completely invented automatic defibrillator company called HeartMax Technologies.
Which you gotta admit is a tougher sell conversationally than your company's product or service.
So, Brian, what do you do?
I'm in the human jumper cable business. Bam, short and intriguing. That's your wow line. You've got them hooked. And the person you're talking to is gonna go, bah?
Why? Because human jumper cable business sounds really interesting. It would be impossible for them to stop listening to you right now. They have to know more. So they will give you the Scooby-Doo response or even ask you what that means. Verbal ping pong.
After you get the Scooby-Doo grunt or nod, you jump to the how line. I work for HeartMax Technology. It's my job to get our automatic defibrillator units, like those paddle things in the yard, into companies and schools.
Now they're starting to get the picture of what your company does. They're thinking, oh, so that's what he meant by human jumper cables. At this point, they may say something, or they'll give you more head nodding. That's permission for you to say another line with a customer benefit.
Like, so normal non-medical people, like you and me, can actually save our coworkers and kids.
At this point, most people will go, oh, or they'll give you the New York mouth. That means, okay, that's enough, you're done. But sometimes they'll be hooked and want to know more of the story.
With those people, you jump in with a compelling real-world story from your department or business unit, starting with the 3 power words, now, for example.
And once you're into a story, the elevator speech is over. Now you're having what behavioral scientists call a conversation.
Maybe that'll lead to a give me your card situation, or even you never know.
But what you do know is now, in a memorable way, you've helped position in others' minds what you and your company do.
So with these short memorized lines, you are ready with a progressively revealed conversational answer to the question
What do you do?
that you deliver in such a way that people want you to keep talking.
So, what do you guys do?
So I hope you sort of got the gist with that. So next time someone asks you what you do, you might have a slightly different answer to that. Something along the lines of, I put free books in schools, or I help children learn to read. So many short answers that we can give to people to make sure they're interested, or we sound more interested than I tend to go, or I work for a company called Osborne Books, and we sell books, and I have a team, and I still baffle my way through it quite often. I need to go back and write down exactly how I answer that question. And you can have different responses for different people as well. So if you're out at a school and there might be teachers there, you might have an answer along the lines of, I help schools get free books. Or if you're at a toddler group with lots of mums off looking back to work, you go, I help people create incomes around their children. Something along the lines that might get people hooked in and wanted to stay in. The final thing I'm going to talk to you on this video, as I said, I'm going to do a couple of other videos either today or tomorrow that are going to be uploaded on I'm going to do one which is all about Facebook adverts, how you put your Facebook advert together, how you do the targeting of that Facebook advert, how to boost that Facebook advert. And I'm going to also do the online free prize draws, how to put that together, where to share that, whether you want to boost that through your Facebook as well. So they're the 2 other videos I'm going to do. But before I go away and work on those and try and get those uploaded for you, I wanted to talk to you about following up. The fortune is in the follow-up. It is the most important thing that you can do. Talk to someone and go back to them, whether it's for sales, whether it's for recruiting, whether it's a school. If you do not follow up, someone else will hook that person in. The amount of times this happens in Osborne is that someone has spoken to someone and then joined a different team because that person hasn't followed up quick enough, and then they've been hooked in by someone else, is unbelievable. It happens all the time. The amount of downloads that come through head office who had already spoken to someone else and then that person hadn't got back to them is unbelievable. You have to follow up with your people. You have to have that pipeline, that recruiting bingo, and go back and follow up with them. To read the sales statistics that are up on the screen, 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and stop. And only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. However, 2% of sales are made in the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. And 80% of all sales or new team members are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So it is hugely, hugely important to follow up with the people you speak to. It's also hugely important to go out there and have the conversations. You need to get those 150 squares filled in as quick as possible. And if you're on that I will do this step, if you've got that determination that you are going to make this happen in April, you may want to go out and do double that, because you want to absolutely guarantee your promotion is going to happen. And the only way that promotion is going to happen is if you are out there having conversations with people. It is as simple as that. I hear all the time of, oh, recruiting's not working for me. I can't do it. It doesn't work. I can't recruit. It's just not happening. The excuses are endless. If you are speaking to hundreds of people and they are not joining, you need to go back and look at the conversations you are having with people. Something you are saying is putting them off. That's an easy problem to solve. Your mentor can sit through with you, look at what you're saying to people and help you change your wording. If you're not getting people wanting information, then you are not posting in enough places, you are not going to enough events, you are not following up your frogs, and then that's your problem. You need to go out and get people to want information, get those prize draw forms filled in. So whatever one of those you're having the problem with, you need to adjust your advert, adjust your wording, and go back and doing it again. This business works. Recruits do join. It's £38 for £150 worth of books, and the only minimum requirement is you place 1 order. It's an amazing opportunity. Get your mindset in the fact that why the hell would someone not want to do this? You are offering them a fantastic opportunity. You are not begging them to join your team for your own benefit. You are trying to help them better their lives, because this opportunity is incredible. And you need to go out and tell as many people as you can that this incredible opportunity exists. It is not a con. It is not a pyramid scheme. It is not some misguided information. If they want to put the work in with Osborne, they can make money without having to go to an office job. They can make money from home around their children in just a few hours a week, as long as they do it properly. So go out and let everybody know that. I hope that's helped. I'm sorry that there was a bit of the pause partway through the video. It's been a little bit tough to try and get this one fitting in this week. School have managed to put in like 1,000,001 events this week, so I've been across country this morning. I'm back there selling books for parents' evening today and tomorrow. And then Easter egg bingo on the Thursday, and then thankfully we break up for Easter. So I hope it's helped, and I will be back with some other videos again shortly. Okay. Let me just go back and turn that off. Lovely. Okay, I'll speak to you all soon.